If Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson's marriage was so real, why did they end it?
Well, the reason that they ended it was this. Michael Jackson wanted children. And Lisa Marie was having a lot of problems with Michael after a couple of years with him. He was not an easy, talk about somebody coming into a relationship with baggage. Michael was high maintenance to the nth degree. Lisa Marie really tried to save Michael Jackson. The reason Lisa Marie came into Michael's life was because of his addiction. He was addicted to pain medication, and Lisa Marie wanted to save him, as she explained to me, in a way that she wasn't able to save her father. And she worked night and day to try to save Michael Jackson, not only from his addiction, but also from his own demons. And it was a tough job. And the relationship began to disintegrate. And then there was a point when Michael wanted children, and she didn't want to have a child. And she told me the reason she didn't want the child was because she was afraid of the custody battle that would ensue if the marriage didn't last. What would it be like to try to battle Michael Jackson for a child? And she just didn't want to do it. So this was a debate that they had for quite some time, until one day Michael walked into the kitchen when they were having breakfast, and he said, look, Michael always being a problem solver, he said, look, if you don't want to have my child, my nurse Debbie said she'll do it for me. And Lisa's reaction to this, according to what she told me, was, well, she didn't know if this was just information, or whether this was a threat, or whether this was just like an anecdote. But she said, in her typical way, sure, fine, tell her to go knock herself out. Go ahead, do it. And ultimately she did. And that's how, but it just shows you that, when it came to emotion, and Michael could be very detached once he had his mindset on a goal. When he decided he wanted to have children, that became his goal, much the way it was his goal when he wanted Thriller to be the biggest selling album of all time. He began to focus on, how am I going to have a child, and the emphasis was no longer on how am I going to save my marriage to Lisa Marie Presley. What people don't know is that Debbie Rowe was pregnant with Michael's first child before he and Lisa Marie were even divorced. Debbie Rowe had a miscarriage of that baby, and then she got pregnant again, and then that's when Prince was born.
Do you think that Blanket's mother will ever come forward and make herself known?
Wow. It's amazing that Blanket's mother has not come forward by now. This is a woman who, obviously, Michael Jackson made a really right and correct decision about. He must have trusted her so implicitly. She must deserve his trust for her to, not have come forward by now and tell the world that she's the mother of Michael Jackson's third child. I would love it if she never came forward. I mean, I would, for Michael's memory, and for the fact that I know that he didn't trust a lot of people in his life. He trusted very few people. He was very suspicious of a lot of people because he'd been used and abused so many times over the years. If there could just be one person on this planet that he could know from the great beyond, that he could actually trust, I would love that for him, and I hope it's Blanket's mother.